How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I have a Rawrr 60/72 volt motor. This is what it looks like. There's the, turn it for you all, right here. You got this 60/72 volt, the serial number. Again, we have a bunch of these motors that were blown from the Motoclops debacle. So here's the motors. Tim Calhoun have given us these when he was the CEO. Well, give them because they're junk, and obviously they don't want them back because they don't work. But these are the motors. What I'm going to be saving is the drain plug, the sprocket. This is a 14.2 sprocket because this was on a 60 volt bike. The 72 volt bikes had a bigger sprocket. These sprockets are, well, worth saving, and I'll be selling these because getting parts from Rawrr is kind of hard. And if you want down low torque, all you have to do is change out this sprocket, and that will work a lot better for you, for especially trail riding, or if you just want to do wheelies, whatever. Twist that. There we go. Just like so. Pop that off. So selling this, I'll include that, and obviously the sprocket here, 14 tooth, a 5 mil Allen for the bolt. There we go. I'll be saving that. Once again, parts that are worth something, because getting parts from Rawrr is next to impossible sometimes. Well, I've heard lately it's really bad, but that's just what I've heard, so I don't know. And the vent. These brass vents, people turn them a little too tight. It just needs to be like, just a little bit. And that is a 14 mil. There's going to be trans fluid in here, and there it goes, pouring out. Traditionally not too much, so I'm not too worried about it, but so there's also a circlip, it looks like, on this shaft. So I'll go ahead and get my circlip pliers and we'll take that off. And it makes it that easy. Set that to the side. It's always worth buying quality tools. Or not even quality necessarily, just tools. So you want to do 8 mil. They give you a little spot to pry. Ah. There we go. Is there a spot over here? Nope. Just work your way around. Ooh, and there we have it. Wow, that's what it looks like, full of fluid. Okay, I want to go get our oil drain pan, and yeah. I didn't think it was going to be that much, honestly. So we'll go get that and drain that. So let's see, let's move this gear. So you can see how that is cut. You can see the bearings in here. So if you wanted to rebuild this, you could take this apart. That just goes through there. Obviously this seals in the fluid right here, and the shaft seal, and that eventually is going to wear out. So there's the gear. Forget what they call that type of gear. I worked in a place that made gears at one point. Mainly for the airline industry, but type of gears they would make. I was just an IT guy though, so I don't really know a lot about it. I just knew some of the names and stuff for them. So here's the bearings. What type of bearings are they using? 6004 RS, I believe, for the big one, and then the little one is 6201 RS, I do believe. That's what you would need to replace should they, it goes out. So you could get into here and do that. Okay, here's the inside. You can see the drain bolt is here, and that would be the drain right there. This is the fill up here, or is that the vent? Let's see. So that would go like so. This would be sticking out of there. And how it's in the bike, yeah, that's the fill. And then this is the drain. There's also this lower vent cap, but that's just a vent cap, but it does have passages through. You can see them right there. So it's not completely sealed. It looked like it was completely sealed. It looks like just a RTV around that sealed it. That's all that's sealing. So what you would do is you would just clean this off, clean this surface off, RTV coat, and put it back together. There's another bearing here. It looks like also 6,000. I'll say 6,202 RS. So makes sense, different size because it's this little guy versus the big. So that was sitting in there like so. So it's just a reduction gear. You got this little guy that spins on here to give you the power that is needed to propel the Rawrr. Okay, there's I forget what these are called, set pins. It's just to orientate the case. That's all it is, but it's right there. Let's go ahead and take the drain bolt out. 12 mil? Oh yes, it's a 12 mil. Dang it. There we go. Be a little bit rough on it. Drain bolt's going to be worth a little something because, well, again, getting Rawrr parts. So, not that I'm going to get rich selling any of these parts, but if we can reuse them, somebody's like, hey, I need that. It has a magnetic end on it if you haven't ever looked. I'm just forgetting the orientation of this in the bike, so I'm guessing that's the drain and the fill was up here on the side, I'm guessing. Sorry, we have a lot of electric bikes now, so I can't remember the orientation of every bike. Okay, so that's in there. That bearing ain't moving. It's nice and smooth. Now note, these motors are pretty new. So we figure what stopped working on them was probably the hall sensor. So take your 8 mil. Man, that's a really small cap. Let's go ahead and undo this because I'm not sure how to get into here. So it's a really small Allen. So I'll go get our Allen Well, I got these impact ones. Let's... The best thing to buy is an impact. They're not that expensive, and honestly, in everyday life, it comes in handy. Okay, looks like there's a notch over there. Oh yeah. Siliconed on, it looks like. There's the board. Is that the Hall sensor? I mean, it doesn't look like it moved any. But then again, I really don't know. But you do have slots in there, as you can see. Let's see now if I can, I'm guessing this is also siliconed on, so we'll have to see how that comes apart. Any notches? Screwdriver and hammer. There we go. Go. That's off, so that's a connector there. And I'm not sure, okay, I'm not sure where those go. That's just laying there. That's the connector, which is a red, black, yellow, green, white, and blue. But I read that off wrong because the white is on the outside. So it's actually red, black, yellow, green, blue, white. Okay, just tap it off. So that's what happens. Here's the wires. You'd fish that guy through like so. That one cannot be detached, soldered to the board. So you would need to get your Phillips. I guess you undo that board, but that board wouldn't come out. Not quite understanding how that board works. I thought that would be like the Hall sensor, and that's the position of it. How does it know where anything's at? I don't see any sensors on it. There's a O-ring embedded in here going around that goes around this bearing. Looks like a nut right here. Might want to get my bigger sockets for the impact. This bearing is 6,202. Looks like it says RSM. Here's your, I guess, your copper coil there. So, I mean, what would have probably went out is something on the circuit board, right, for the controller, which would be down here. I don't know. I'll include a close-up picture of some of this. This nut possibly, and then a nut down here. Maybe that's holding that shaft in. Do I want to go that far? Maybe. Okay, there we go. Huh, that's what that looks like. Was not expecting that. That's a weird freaking bolt. And it's aluminum. Yeah, and I don't have a puller, so I can't really pull that bearing off to get to the underside nut. I don't have a slide puller. Huh. Well, I think this is as far as I'm going to get inside the motor, but this does at least give you an idea of what's inside a Rawrr motor, and I don't get why this doesn't obviously sense anything. So I was thinking a Hall sensor that it like sensed the where the motor was. That I don't see necessarily how it would necessarily do. Oh. Is that like a magnet? Yes. See, I'm learning. That's a magnet. So that is. that is sensing, I guess with that there, at the speed of this spinning. Huh, interesting. And actually, it's bent. Now, it could have just bent because it's too bloom, but yeah, that seems like it's bent. Don't know if you can see that, but that shaft, see, so if that's wobbling incorrectly, then it would probably not work. But I mean, if all that went out, let's say is, especially like the sprocket, let me know, because that is, and that's like brand new, because these were never really used that long. So 14 tooth on 72, we tested it. Oh my God, I gave one to a guy that came in at one point, you know, breaking his leg, but he, I think he broke his pelvis actually. Nice kid, nice young dude. He gave him one of these and just so much torque on a 72 volt bike. Crazy. So yeah, I have a couple of those sprockets, and once they're gone, they're gone. And you can't just order the sprockets, the last we knew, from Rawrr, which is just crazy. So little stuff like this, I'll probably just clean up, and we'll just probably, you know, put it on the counter. It's cool. It's a gear. It's machined. Just a cool part, you know. There we go. I got it off. Just some good wax. It came off. So there we have it. Totally different size type bearing right here. Feels good though. Bearing feels good. Nothing wrong with the bearing. Here's all the windings in here. I mean, obviously copper's worth something, but you'd have to tear this down, and yeah, I'm not going to go that far. Looks like if you had a bearing puller, you could pull that bearing off. I'm not sure how this is otherwise put together. There's this blue stuff. I'm not sure what that does. So that's inside of one of these motors. There's really not much to it. This is the plate. This is the seal, so oil doesn't go in. So that could always be a failure too, that you're trying to keep oil out of the motor, and if oil eventually, which it will due to wear, it's going to go in, and then that's going to cause an issue and burn out the motor, I would assume, over time. Really interesting to me how all this is manufactured. Anyways, there it is. Y'all take care, stay well, stay safe.